Hello everyone, this is Anuj Tripathi and you are watching the Review Universe aka TRU Podcast. So we have conversation with authors regarding their book, their journey and the idea behind their book. We are joined by Valance Quadros, a chartered accountant and business strategist who has spent over a decade studying what truly makes businesses scale without burning out the founder. He is the author of Scale Up Without Burnout, a practical guide for entrepreneurs who want growth, systems, and freedom, not constant firefighting. Drawing inspiration from AI thinking, process mastery, and real world business patterns, Valence focuses on building businesses that move on stagnation to autopilot so founders can scale sustainability and regain control of their time. So Valence, welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning.
Okay. So Valence, you are a chartered accountant, but your work goes far beyond numbers. So what pulled you towards studying how businesses actually scale?
Yeah, so I think when I used to work in a bank and I got introduced to Lean Six Sigma as the first time, I think it was 2003. Um, and I was very fascinated when I heard the story about the evolution of quality and how quality helped even countries reform. Like the entire quality methodology which was used in Japan by Deming. He transformed Japan from shackles after the World War. Where the bomb was put and destroyed the country, where they then there is this story that says is that the elders of Japan, they were debating how to reconstruct this country, and then they were looking for ideas, who will be able to guide them and reconstruct this company. And then someone mentioned about Deming, who used to be one of the persons, the quality gurus in the US. Then he was brought in there, studied Japan, and then he said, okay, he'll help them out. But he says, you will have to follow what I tell you for a period of time. So all agreed. And he said, you'll have to give me 20 years. And they really thought about it, and then they finally gave Deming 20 years. And Deming then taught them the entire concepts of quality methodologies. I think the most important benefit Deming made was help them to think in a very structured way. And that structure is what brought out that entire automobile revolution which Japan had. And very quickly, in 20 years, they were able to overtake the American companies itself, based on the structure and the thought process and improvements what they did. So that fascinated me a lot. And I always wanted to understand, okay, how do you then scale? Because the country scaled, they built an entire revolution around it. I was very fascinated on quality, so I went more deep on quality. I understood quality is all about methodologies, systems, processes. The more we get all the structure in place, the more ability to scale happens. And so that's my fascination that started about, learning more about quality. So then I invested a lot of time in that stream and built my career around that.
Got it. Okay, so you often talk about businesses getting stuck in stagnation or autopilot chaos. So what patterns did you repeatedly notice across struggling businesses?
Yeah, so one of the issues that I've noticed in stagnation is one is the founder is doing everything. That is one issue. Or the second issue is it's a inside out mindset. It's about not looking at customer. What is the customer wanting? But what we feel that what is important, what is the need? Trying to build products which are what we think is good, not necessarily what we have identified what customer actually wants. And again, it comes again from a thinking structure. It's from outside in, right? You always keep customer as the base. Look at what customer's problem is, genuinely try and identify what is that problem, and then try and build a solution around that. I think those are areas where you get ideas, you get innovative products that you can build when you have an outside in attitude. So I've seen that one issue on stagnation. Whenever you hit stagnation, you're so inward looking. At times you just forget to do some basics. Just look and just interview customers, try to observe customers. I think that is one. From an autopilot, I think the bigger problem is again it's more of a mindset part where the always the founder feels that he is the best person to do everything, right?
Got it.
And because he feels he's the best person to do everything and he can do it the best way, he feels very insecure when anybody else is doing that, right? Which is there. Or even if he teaches someone, that patience level to delegate, to hold, that is, lacking. And I think it's more of a mindset, rather than actually a difficulty in getting it to autopilot. Right? I think it's first to get the mind right, and then all the other things fall into place.
Got it. I can relate to that insecurity part myself as well. But I've come through that phase for now. But let just a question like some of the times you delegate the things, but the person who is not doing it correctly. So should you take over or give him time to just process that thing?
Yeah, I think a lot of times one of the mistakes that I've seen when you delegate is you're not also documenting clearly what he's supposed to do. Right. And a lot of time what we do is we explain it orally, and human mind has a limitation. It there is one thing you think you know, but when you try and do it, you struggle, right? Because that's where the problem happens. What I've seen a lot is if you delegate it well, delegated in the sense it can be a very simple thing. So instead of teaching him, you record the entire process, right, and
Got
give
it.
him the recording which is there. Then even if he gets doubt, he can re-see the recording, or he can, yeah, or if you got a nice manual written very detailed, he has a manual to assist him. At least in the beginning, that helps a lot in delegation, right? When you give it to him, he does a better job rather than he then suddenly every time comes back to you, right? And every time he has to come back to you, then you feel frustrated.
Yeah.
Oh, it is there. So I think supporting training with strong documentation is a very important element in delegation.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much for this advice. What triggered the idea for scale up without burnout? Was there any specific moment or replaced frustration you observed among founders?
Yeah, so I think, as I explained in the book, every business goes through four stages. One is, you're trying to do the product market fit, where you're just trying out multiple things which you think which the customer wants, and the more you understand what the customer wants, and then your product actually matches that market fit, then suddenly there is this growth that happens, right? And then suddenly you have a lot of customers coming in, a lot of demand that comes in, and I think the burnout happens at that stage. Most of the founders, suddenly are hitting with too many customer demands, and but not ready at that point of time. And I think the trap that at that point of time is that you do it all alone. Right? You're trying to do it. You're trying to. So there is no time to teach. There is no time to.
Yeah.
You're just trying to do everything, and more work comes in, the more and more you are stretching, right? And because you are the hero there, everybody is revolved. So you recruit people, you get people, but you're not having time to get
Same.
to delegate it to them, right? So
Yeah.
that is the biggest problem. I think that issue is what I was trying to solve, because I see there a lot of business stagnate. Because the founder becomes the biggest bottleneck there,
Got it.
and instead of scaling it, then it just either the founder burns out, and or he just then happy to be with at that level of growth, right? Because there's a sense of fear comes in, the too much of growth, it becomes a problem, because his family becomes a problem, he's not having able time, or his health becomes a problem. I think that's the core issue I was trying to solve, and see, okay, is there a better way? Is there a way that area can help founders when they hit that growth phase? They are, one is mentally ready for it. Second is when they hit it, then they actually take advantage of it, and they are able to grow their business. So that is the problem that I was fascinated to solve, and that's the attempt of the book, to help founders do that.
Okay. So many entrepreneurs feel the burnout is the price for success. So would you strongly disagree or agree with that idea?
I would partially agree, right? So there is a price for success, but I think we need to be clear on what is that price. Right? Sometimes a price which is genuinely needed, yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think the price we unnecessarily push ourselves and create a unnecessary burden which is actually not needed, right? Which is there. And so the price, if you ask me, could be the discipline, right? And I think discipline is another, I think the key for any businessman, and getting discipline is a price. It's a painful, it's not very easy. But structure, again,
Yeah.
That's a price, right? So I think the right price, being clear what is that price that you're going to pay for. Yes, I think I think that clarity is required, right? What is that right price, or what is needed? Only that you do. I mean, you don't unnecessarily need to sacrifice family. You don't have to sacrifice health. I think that's not the price to pay, right, to grow
Got
your
it.
business.
Okay. So one personal question I can say.
Yeah.
I just say sometimes you have to set examples to your team as well. So like this is the benchmark of doing things. This is the benchmark for the quality and discipline as well, as you have already said. So who should be the person who sets the example? Because if the founder is going to set this benchmark, he have to burn out. So for how long he should be doing that?
Okay.
Just
So
your
let me
idea.
tell you. So okay, let me then clarify what I mean by burnout, right? I mean by burnout. Okay, so there is a difference between being going through a little bit of uncomfortable position, uncomfortable. So if you go to the gym, right, for example, if you want to build a body, there is an element of pain there. Okay, so there is an element of pain where that is required for the body to for the body to grow. But at the same time, eating junk food, okay, is not the right thing at that point of time to build your in the body, right, which is there.
Got it.
So in this particular example also, so this is when I call it a discipline, it's like gymming piece, right? Which is about, so that I think as a role model you need to do. So that technically doesn't cause you burnout. It is actually making you uncomfortable to do some things which is good for you.
Mhm.
Burnout, in my view, is when you are not having time to do the right things, right? Not having time to maybe spend with family, for example, because you are just completely at work and you need to be there to just get the work done. Because of that, you are not taking care of your health, you're not taking care of the important things in your life. That I'm saying is what is the problem when you're building a business. That you should avoid.
Okay. So is growth always the right goal or the stability from your point of view?
I think I think uh, when you do things right, you get both.
Got it.
Okay? I think the importance is to do it the right way, right? Because I don't think just growth for the sake of growth is wrong, and stability is also not right if you have the opportunity to grow, right? I think the key thing is trying to find out what's that right thing to do at that point of time.
Okay. So your book outlines four core pillars: direction, customer, people, and process. Okay. So why did you choose process as the backbone of scaling?
Yeah, so I think, again, coming back to that example of how Deming use the entire
Yeah.
quality methodology which is there. I think process helps align people, right, which is there. Most of the time, I think the biggest benefit for any company is its people, and each has their own way of thinking, own strengths, own way of all of them have their own excellence, which is there in their own way, right, which is there. But the power comes in when you synergize everyone together, right? When your power comes in, when you put all minds together. Now, how do you put it all together? Until there is something common as a process that is there. So, for example, if I am, you have one way of doing your work, right? There is a colleague of you could be having a different way of doing your work. There could be some elements of you which is very good. There could be some elements of him which he is doing is very good. What if I find a way to find out all the good things you do? What are the good things he does? And as another colleague, what are the good things she does? And all that you put it as part of a process steps itself. What is happening is the intellectual capacity of all the people are coming into one way of working, and that way gets better and better because more intelligent people are using. So it gets, the system gets stronger based on the intelligence of people which is there. So that becomes that backbone. So what is happening is all the intellectual capacity is getting harnessed in the best way of doing it, and automatically you have a best way of working. The way you
Got it.
unify the best way of working, automatically the company then starts working very well.
Okay. So you reference AI learning models. Okay. losing repeatedly, learning what works, and improving over time. How can business owners apply this mindset practically?
Yeah, so I think the biggest advantage I have seen this is just to explain how the AI model works, right? And I always like to give this example of the computer beating the chess grandmaster. So when the computer plays the first time, it loses, right? And the only logic the computer is given is you always build on what is working and discard what is not working.
Yeah,
Uh, and the computer doesn't know the game of chess when it starts the game, but it keeps playing the game. It plays the first game, it loses. Second game, it loses. Third game, it loses. Fourth game, it loses. 15th game, it loses. Then it plays 20 games, it loses. 25 games, it still loses. 26th game, it wins, right? Which is there. And then again, it starts losing. But what it is always doing is whatever has been winning, the algorithm has always been at the back end getting better and better and better, finding out all the best moves it is there. So by the time the 40th game comes, the computer starts winning consistently 41, 42, 43. Then they change the person, the expert. So then they get a better chess player to play with the computer, right? And this keeps on going till the time when the computer is able to beat the chess grandmaster itself, right? So that is, and so that if you look at it in our business world also, a lot of times there is this mindset of business owners to say, this is not, I'm not good at this, or this is something I don't know, or this is something which is not there. But that is a need of the problem that needs to be solved. But if you have this idea of an AI saying that you don't need to know, you need to be in that game, right? If you understand the problem, you be in that game, you keep on learning, you keep absorbing what is good. Over a period of time, you can become an expert very quickly. Right? It
got
takes
it.
it takes I think 3 to 6 months to really focus on an area to get a decent expertise. 80-90% of the you'll be better than the people in that area if you just focus on that.
Got it. Okay. So, among the four pillars, which one do founders most commonly ignore? Like, what are the consequences of that thing?
Yeah. So I think out of the four pillars, right, just to reiterate, the four areas of a business which needs to be strong for it to scale. One is purpose. The purpose is about setting direction and the why as to why you're doing your business. The second is your customer, right? It's about knowing who you serve and then what they want, and then ability to design your products and services exactly giving what they want, which is there.
Yeah.
The third part is your people and process. It's about building your processes and developing your people so that you're able to serve consistently at the highest manner. And the fourth is how you manage your money, right? How you manage your money. So these are the four pillars. I think the issue which I've seen in especially in small businesses is they don't give a lot of time to really look at the purpose part, right, which is there. One, because I think that is a little bit of a long term. So you're just trying to make money. So I think marketing, sales, all that is given a lot of importance. But I think because you don't do that properly, there are a couple of issues that happen. One is you are sometimes get tempted to do multiple things. Anything that is making money, you are there, right? So you
Yeah.
shift. Because you're shifting multiple businesses, you don't build any good business. And anything to be built, you need to be anchored in it for some time, right? And you have to make it grow and there. When you are actually clear on your purpose, when you are clear on why you're doing what you're doing, you will not get really easily distracted. You will clearly focus, you will build on that area. And I think that becomes the key for becoming large. Because a lot of businesses they get some money, they get, hit a turnover, maybe 5 crores, immediately get distracted. Okay, they start another business. And I think the wrong thinking is to do, you start multiple businesses, the money, you grow faster, but it's
Yeah.
actually more difficult because when you start multiple, your energy gets dissipated into multiple areas. When your energy gets dissipated, you are not able to. So what is working well also will start not work well.
Got it.
I think ability to just focus on one thing, go deep, make it big. I think that purpose helps to get really clear on your why.
So, for a founder who feels trapped in daily operations, what is the first small shift you recommend move forward towards autopilot?
I think the first shift is to believe that people can do the work better than you. I think that's the first mindset shift is that. And the second mindset shift I think is to be saying is that even if I am not involved, I can still control the process. There are two different things. I can be in control even without being involved, right?
Yeah.
And that's where coming back to process and data. I think ability to create measurement systems, ability to get your team to report out what they do. I think that reports MISs gives you far more control to find out what is broken, what is not. And if you really structure your reporting system, your dashboards, your MISs very well,
Yeah.
I think the founders can control the businesses much better than they need to do everything. And I think that shift is a very important shift to have.
Got it. The dashboard part is like I'm facing right now as well, so I can relate to that. So okay, so moving on to the next question. How does your framework help founders gain time freedom without sacrificing growth and control?
Yeah, so I think the scale up with the burnout has a very structured system that is to be followed, and the way I always a system to be structured is this, that over a period of time I've studied multiple businesses, worked in large corporates, and I've seen a pattern as to what makes it grow, right, which is there. And I think just following that structured way unlocks a lot of value, which is there. And the attempt of the books is this, to put a structure to go step by step. For example, let's say even if you're going to do a customer acquisition or you're focusing on your marketing piece, a lot of times we may focus on our sales process, but it is first to be start on your lead generation process, right?
Got it.
If your lead generation process you have not worked on to generate a lot of leads, there's no use working on your sales process, which is there. So the steps are very important. What you need to work first, or you, because you work on the lead generation a lot, then that impacts much more bigger than you working on just on your sales process. So I think those the sequence, the steps, I think that is very very important in the structure, because if you follow that, automatically you will see it is easier to build your business. Otherwise, you're always just running around. You're not knowing which lever, which one to focus on, which one not to focus on. So the attempt of the book is this, to give you a structure, to give you the steps. If you follow the sequence, you should get your time, energy, money. A lot of savings should be there.
Okay, so if I want to learn from scratch, like what should be the processes and how are these, yes, steps should be? So can you like summarize in this?
Yeah. So again, so I'll just, like, suppose if you're asking me to do the work
Yeah,
of from an autopiloting a business, right? If
exactly.
you have to do an autopiloting of a business, I would say first is you should have very clear. There are 7 functions of a business that are there, right? So there is lead generation, then there is sales, which is there. The third is that is lead conversion. Your sales is lead conversion.
Yeah.
Then you have operations, that the lead that comes in, you have to fulfill that, deliver that. That's your operations that is there. Then you have finance, which manages the money piece, which is there. Then you have an HR, which actually manages the people around, which is there. Then you have a research and development, where you're looking at new products, you're looking at building new products. And the last one is management, which is there. I think you should have first is each one person who's to be responsible each of that function. Because even if you're a 1-member team or a 1,000-member team, these 7 functions are there for any business. So I think getting structurally right, that there is this role, and for this role, these are the things that need to be performed. I think that's the first structure that needs to be very clear. I've seen a lot of times you just get the right people in the right place, a lot of things fall into place, because the founder is doing multiple things and not doing anything in justifying that. Once you have put a very clearly what is the responsibility, what is you deliver, you want from that particular role, then what you do is, for that particular role, then you go one more step deeper and say, okay, what are those tasks that he needs to do? Those needs to be very clearly articulated. What is the task that needs to be done, documented? So I think you follow this very clearly, the structure, the roles, the tasks, and having an outcome, okay, from each thing what is there. And then you have a measurement performance to see, are you meeting that, not meeting that. I think this is the broad structurally be placed. Once you put this in place, a lot of things fall, you'll be able to get your autopilot working.
Got it. Thank you so much for explaining this. I will take a look after this as well, like when the podcast is live. And the other questions regarding the book only. So, what kind of business owners will benefit most from reading this book, Scale Up Without Burnout?
Yeah. So I think the most the book, the lot of value will be found in business owners who have hit the fast growth phase.
Okay.
The business owners where suddenly they're seeing a lot of customer growth, customer, there's a lot of inquiries, and they're not able to deliver at the pace, or they are burning out to deliver. Okay, I think that those are the business owners which I think will benefit most with the structure which is there, which they can use to build their business.
Got it. Okay. So if a reader remembers just one idea from the scale up without burnout, what mindset or principle do you hope stays with them?
I think if you ask me one thing, that the mindset is much more important than strategies. It is there. A lot of time we give a lot of importance to the strategy piece, and sometimes we don't give a thought to the mindset. I think the thing is that when you get your mindset right, the strategies work better. And so a lot of times, if they're doing the right strategies but it's not working, maybe you want to just check your mindset. Do you believe what you're believing? Do you have that? Suppose you're telling something but you're believing something. So let's say, for example, if you believe that if I train my people, they will leave, okay,
Got
because
it.
they will get marketable, right, and the competition will take them. If you believe that, you will never train your people, right? Because that belief will always hold you from not training your people. But if you change that belief to say, yes, people don't believe just because market is giving them more money is just important. But if you believe that people like growth, people like how they're treated, how
Yeah.
you're building a culture like that. If you have that mindset change, then you will invest in developing the person, right, which is there.
Yeah.
So your strategy is all linked to what you believe. And sometimes, if it is something that are the right thing that you're not doing, you want to step back and say, okay, what is it that is holding me back? What is my belief? Have I got that right belief? And then try and find out what is the truth and shift that belief. Automatically, your strategies falls in place.
Perfect. Perfect. Like I like this thing. The last one you have said, like training the people. So thanks so much, sir, for giving your time. So one last thing, one last message, I would say. So you want to give to the readers or listeners who is listening on Spotify as well. So one last message for from your side for the book Scale Up Without Burnout.
Yeah, I think uh, business, but just doing a business, I think we're doing a lot of value to the society. And I think being transformative, being a blessing is such a big opportunity in building businesses, because you're not just helping yourself, you're helping so many people who are associated with the business, the employees, their families, the vendors, and then an ecosystem gets built when a business thrives.
Yeah.
And I wish, and my thing is that how getting businesses to really sustain, grow, I think the best thing that we can do for our society and for everybody around us. And I think I just want to let all the business people to know that how valuable what they're doing is actually not only for them, it's also valuable for society.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. So, everyone who is watching this podcast on YouTube or listening on Spotify, you can just go to the description. The book link is there. You can go and check it out and leave a message or a review for Valance as well. I will attach his social media as well. You can just go and personally give your feedback or ideas. You want to know or learn something from him. You can just reach out to him as well. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Anuj.
Thank you so much.